Hey everyone, thanks for joining us this week. I want to give you a little background. Ed has hurt his shoulder in the World Karate Championships. Someone did a crane kick on him and took him out of the tournament. However, this week I was able to secure a wonderful interview with Jessica DiGiovanni, and I won't get that right during the interview, so enjoy that. She was very engaging, very nice to talk to, and very passionate about her voice work and work with Transformers. So I hope you will all enjoy Jessica DiGiovanni, also known as Windblade from Transformers Cyberverse. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great week. Welcome, everyone. Today, I have a very special episode. I have star of such shows as The Narcissist, Forever Split, The Other Two, and many more, including starring as Windblade on Transformers Cyberverse. So welcome, Jessica Giovanni. Excuse me.
You did it. When it been.
Yeah, yes. My Welsh doesn't do that well, but
Well, you did fantastic. It's
thank you
so
very
nice to
much.
meet you, Evan. Thank you so much
Yes,
for having
as
me
well.
today.
We've been interacting over email here and there while you've been doing projects. So I'm glad we finally got this chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really, I mean, want to have a conversation today, and we'll kind of start at the beginning here. So how did you get into acting, and do you have particular actors, actresses you look up to?
Yes. So how did I get into acting? I think so for me, it's always been, and I don't know, I think this might be true for most people, is that I really love feeling a part of something and I really love uh community. And so I was being bullied in middle school and I found theater at that time. I mean, I had been doing it before. I had been doing musicals in elementary school and I loved it. But so I had been doing it when I was younger, but I really feel like I was like, oh, this feeds me in a way that's bigger than just like having fun
Mm.
performing in middle school. And I just really found an outlet where I felt like I belonged and I felt like I love collaborating with other people and being creative and playful. And so that's pretty much how that started. And I forgot the second part of your question. I'm
No
so
problem.
sorry.
No,
It's
you're
like
fine.
holiday
Accent.
season, so like everything, it's just I don't know. I feel
I
like
know.
my brain is
So,
overloaded. Okay, go
yeah,
ahead.
I've
What's
been
the
reading these
second
over and
part?
over, make sure I get them right. So no, actually, to kind of go off of what you said there, I mean, I think a lot of people who get into acting and drama, they look for a place to belong, and that actually usually develops some sort of I don't know, a place or a family or a community. So I was the
Hmm.
same way in high school, so I get it completely.
Oh,
Well,
what did you get involved in?
oh, I just did drama, theater.
Oh my gosh, you did.
Musicals. I never really had the voice for musicals besides chorus, but
Okay.
yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. It was kind of nice being part of something and just I don't know, kind of almost not really supposed to be, but kind of flying by the seat of your pants because you're up there interacting with other people in real time. So that was always kind of fun to me. But I never pursued it past high school and things like that. I took that year off from school, which came back like 20 years later. Um,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah. Actually, no,
Listen,
it's it went into science instead. So we all have our different paths in life, but I kind of want to
science
get
is
back to
so creative.
yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, I want to get back into to you though. So I know as an actor, you probably have looked up to different actors and actresses over your time. So yeah, there you go. Back on. So we kind of want to get an idea of who are the people who really inspired you.
Robin Williams,
Oh yeah.
Jim Carrey. Um, there's other artists that inspire me. Like I just watched this documentary about John Baptiste, he played the piano. He was the band leader in on the Colbert show,
Mhm.
or sorry, his late night show, the late
Yeah.
night with Stephen Colbert.
Yeah.
Um, but he really inspires me. Um, Lucille Ball, um, Catherine O'Hara,
Oh yeah.
like that whole like Christopher Guest um
Yeah.
crew. Like
Hmm.
I loved those movies growing up.
Oh yeah.
And
Definitely.
yeah, just like it's always been people who can bring joy to the world and like make
Mhm.
people laugh. But also, someone like Robin Williams and Jim Carrey, like they also can like really elicit emotional, like they're able to find the humor in like the dark areas in life.
Mhm.
I guess I'm talking more about like the later Jim Carrey stuff. I mean, his like earlier stuff was pretty like physical comedy, obviously, like Goofy. I loved Goofy when I was little, so people like that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely think his portrayal as a Andy Kaufman kind of got into that darker idea of that
Mm-hmm.
silliness, which yeah, it was great seeing him in a role like that because he just became Andy Kaufman in Man on the Moon. So yeah, I definitely get that. And Rob Williams, yes, I grew up listening to his comedy, which probably was a little young to be listening to some of the comedy. I was, watch some of the special, some of the movies.
Yeah.
There were, yeah, I definitely feel that a lot. So, but this, your acting brought you into something that myself and others know you from now. It's also nice to see you welcomed into the Transformers fandom. It seemed like you been getting really nice responses from fans, so it's really cool. And how did that role for Windblade come up for you?
It was just an audition that my agent sent to me. I was packing for I was packing for Burning Man, and I was, I was leaving the next day,
Mhm.
and I got this last minute audition, and so I like recorded it with a towel over my head on my phone, like super, because this was, now everybody has a setup in their house with
Mhm.
voiceover equipment, but this was like pre that. So most people would, I would go into my agent's office to audition, or I would go to a casting director, their office, and like audition there. So I didn't have the setup. And so I was just like, all right, well, I'll just turn it in like this. And then I went to Burning Man, and I didn't have cell phone service there. So which is one of the reasons why I love going. And I got back and I had this email that was like, you booked this job. And I was like, what? And it just kind of like propelled me into this universe. And I was like, I had to like read up all on like the history of Transformers and
Oh
like
my
what the
gosh.
Allspark is and like all of the terminology and who these characters are. And like, you could spend years reading all of the literature on it, because it's just like there's so many spin-off universes, and different, Windblade has different storylines depending on which one you read. So it's like,
Mhm.
it was a lot, but I have loved being a part of this universe because the fans are amazing. They're just like the sweetest. I have so many fans that come up to me like during the conventions. They're like, "Are you okay? Do you need water? How are you doing?" Yeah, it's like
That's nice though.
they're so sweet, and they're like, "Are you having a good time?" And just it's never anything that I ever expected.
Mhm.
I don't know. I just never was like, "Oh, I'm not cool enough to be like a cart," but that's how it's happened, and it's been just so great. And I think it's also great, she's fan made. So
Yeah.
I think there might be some people who feel um connected to her because they helped, come up with her, they birthed her in a way.
Yeah, I totally get that. I mean, I've done some moderation work at conventions around the Pensacola, Florida area, and
Oh, cool.
people always assume that the celebrity's okay, and I'm over there looking at you. You're fine. I totally get that. That's inherent in our nature. We want to make you as comfortable as possible. So I love that. That's really nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, and were you able to, I don't know, with the reading of the lore and things, were you able to bring in anything, I guess, your own personality, your own take on the character at all, or did you have a very centered focus about how she was supposed to be as a character?
Before I booked the job or after?
After.
So after, I was able to get an image of Windblade, because
Mhm.
that really helps me as an actor to have some sort of visual to go off of. And so they sent me what they were going to use for her, and they had mentioned that they were getting rid of like the high heel aspect of it, so her feet were like more on the ground,
Mhm.
and they were trying to like, I guess, in a way, like desexualize her a little bit, because I feel like a lot of times the Autobots, or really any of the female bots, can be kind of,
Yeah.
a little bit not sexed up, but like there is an aspect to them that's like, okay, this is a very feminine aspect. So I really liked that. So there was a stance I kind of took with her where, so my feet were flat on the ground, and really I really just kind of felt that the power of like a warrior a little bit. And then the
Mhm.
wings, right? So like her wings are, so like there's like a back and your chest is forward. And so just kind of coming from that strength, like that place physically, also it all informs your voice, like how you're holding your body informs how your voice sounds. So yeah, that's kind of that's how I got into her. I didn't really have any preconceived notions except that I knew that she was tough and she had her conviction in her purpose, which is to, protect the Allspark and protect the uh their civilization, is so strong. And also in our series, as you know, like her and Bumblebee are like brother and sister, and like so they really, to me, emphasize that they were really, for this series, they really wanted to show the beauty of their like, and the love in their like brother sister relationship and how much they care about each other. So I've really focused on those aspects, and that's
Mhm.
kind of how she came to be.
Nice. Yeah, actually, and I know a lot of that early part of the show, you pretty much carried it. There's little blurs
Mm.
with him and little flashbacks, but I mean, was there any pressure from you having to like, carry a lot of the early episodes? Did you feel pressure from that?
No, it's so funny. I just wrapped a feature film where I was the lead, and I had people, because when you're the lead, you're like there all the time, and other actors come in and out, and they were asking me, they're like, God, this whole thing's on your shoulders. How are you feeling? I'm just like, I love it. Like, if I could be there every day, all the time, like,
Yeah.
I love it. So I
No.
don't feel pressure. I feel more like exhilarated and excited, where some people might,
Mhm.
but I also try, it's not like I show up and I'm like, hey, I'm here, great, like I definitely do the work,
Mhm.
and I make sure I know what I'm doing and what's going on and what I can add, and I'm creative and I love bouncing ideas off of other people and working together. So that's something I definitely bring, but it just, I don't know, I think leadership is something that's always come very naturally to me. So I thrive when I'm like
Your
there,
charts.
like the lead. Yeah.
Nice. That's cool.
I
That's great.
personally love it. Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh yeah. So complete aside real quick. You said you love going to Burning Man. Were you trapped out there this year?
I didn't go this year. I
Oh,
couldn't
you
go
lucked
this
out.
year. I had a job. Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Ooh,
I
that
did
was
luck
rough.
out. That would have been, I mean, but the nature of Burning Man is that like you just make the best of whatever happens. So
Yeah.
I'm sure it was still fun no matter what. I would imagine that like getting out of there was a little bit of a nightmare
Yeah.
for sure. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously they didn't have like water, food, and stuff. I mean, but there's people out there that stay extra. So
Mhm.
there were probably people that had enough.
Yeah. It seemed like everyone kind of worked together to make the best of it, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, that is kind of what it's like out there. You
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
gifting economy. It's not a barter trade. It's just like people support each other. It's cool.
Yeah. They're all there for the same purpose. But yeah, so when you recorded your lines for Windblade, was it a single like a studio setup where you're in a sound booth, or did you do any ensemble recording?
I would have loved to do ensemble recording, but no, it was what we would each come in one at a
Mhm.
time and like do our lines and leave. I just met Jeremy, um, like a couple months ago, actually, at a convention in person. I had never met him in person before. I had spoken to him on the phone. So yeah, we all recorded separate. So it's basically like you just record your line,
Mhm.
and we'll go to the next line and the next line, like, so if my line was like, Evan, get back, I would do that like three different ways. And then if the director, Lauren, was happy with one of those, we would move on. And if she wanted to direct me, we would do another series of three.
Mhm.
Um, and then, we would move forward and she'd be like, okay, this is what just happened. Because sometimes I would get the scripts and sometimes I wouldn't get them before. So sometimes I'd be able to read through them, and other times it would just be like too much and I wasn't able to get to them in time. So sometimes she'd just be like, okay, so Megatron just shot this person with their, like, this is what's happening, go. So, you just kind of have to be like, okay, use my imagination, pretend like Bumblebee's right in front of me, and you know.
Yeah, I almost feel like there's good and bad sides of that. I talked to David Cage a little while back, and
Hmm.
when they did Beast Wars Transformers, they did a ensemble room. Like they basically set a big U, like a horseshoe,
Oh,
and
That's so
they all
nice.
have jabs at each other. People, they almost develop this kind of camaraderie. So I kind of see both sides of how they work better in both ways, but still, that's really cool though. But you also
I
did
think it's more efficient that way. Sorry to interrupt.
no,
Yeah,
no, no,
I
please.
think it's more
You're the
efficient with one person.
Mhm.
However, I think you get, because if they want a different read of a line, they can
Mhm.
just have you go back. Whereas like if the whole cast is there, it's a lot more going on, a lot more to record. But I think you get better. I personally think you get better results when everyone's in the room
Yeah,
together.
yeah. So you also did recording for the Battlegrounds game.
I did,
How was
yeah.
that? I mean, I've heard people talk about, like, other voice actors talk about doing lines on video games, or they'll work with say athletes on certain things, and the athletes are going there, they're trying their best, and they're just takes it out of them after like 10 minutes of doing these lines very ferociously, whereas they're just going like, oh yeah, this is what I do, like I can do this all day long. So how is it doing video game voiceovers for you?
I mean, it's basically kind of the same.
Mm-hmm.
I think there were more effort noises. That's what we call walla. So which is such a funny word for it. I remember the first time I was like, "What's walla? What is that? A dance? I don't understand." And they're like, "No, it's like fight noises." And I was like, "Well, that's a strange word to
Yeah,
use."
really. Does it stand
Um,
for anything?
yeah, so there were a lot more effort noises for the video game and stuff. But that one I think I recorded actually. Did I record that one? God, I don't know. That was so long ago. I think I recorded that one here in my studio at home.
Okay.
Uh, oh no, yeah, no, that was in LA. Yeah, I recorded that. I recorded that in my studio when I was living in LA. Yeah.
Okay, cool, nice. And what other video games have you worked on? I know you've worked on a few others doing voiceover work.
Oh God. Exo's Heroes. I
Yeah, I
worked
saw
on
that
and
one.
I did a bunch of different voices for that. Like, I don't even know. I think at least like 5 characters. Um, and I don't know. Is that it? God, I'm
It's the
so
only
bad.
one other one I saw. I want to make sure I
Yeah.
wasn't missing any.
Yeah,
Okay,
well,
good.
sometimes it feels like I am doing more video game
Yeah.
voices because I'm auditioning for video games all the time. Um, so it's like, the amount that you book versus the amount that you audition for is like exponential. It's so it's a huge difference. But yeah, no, those are the only two that I've done
Okay.
so far.
Well,
Yeah.
nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
So you also worked on some shorts. I was looking at this one you did called Zen, which is like a 2098 cyberpunk setting, which
Yes.
you're really excited about that. So look, the best thing about doing things like this is I start adding things to watch to my list. So it's all these things have kind of joined my
Oh.
list. So I'll be checking them all out. How is it doing that? I want to listen to it soon after we're done here, by the way.
So Nick Snow is a friend of mine that I know from years ago. We used to do sketch comedy together, like and we've done so many projects together, like I can't even remember all of them. But yeah, so he's been getting recently into CGI and all of like creating these worlds. And he reached out to me because he knows I do voiceover, and he was like, "Hey, would you want to do this project?" And so I think I just recorded on my own. Actually, he sent me the lines and I recorded those on my own and sent him some options, and he was like, "These are great." And then I had kind of had like, I didn't really, did I know? See, this is the problem. It's so far back. I don't know. I don't remember if no, I think he did send me the visual. I think he did send me the visual. So I had, no, I don't think I had it. I don't know.
Okay.
Sometimes you
Mhm.
get to see what you're voicing, and other times they're just like, okay, this is what the vibe we're going for.
Yeah.
Do it. But when I saw the whole thing put together, I was like, this is sick.
Nice.
He did such a good job with it. It was beyond like what I don't think I realized what it was, but it was pretty cool. Yeah.
Nice. And excuse me. I know you've also been working on some podcast, scripted podcast things. Like you have
Mhm.
Protocol, Helix Station. That was impressive. A cast with that also. Gwendolyn
Oh my
Christie,
gosh.
Michael Ironside. I mean, it was pretty
Yeah.
cool.
And it won a Webby.
Yes, it
It won
did.
some awards. Yeah.
Well, I was going to bring that up, but that's fine. No,
I'm
kidding. Kidding, kidding.
sorry, we can
No,
rewind. We can
you're
cut that
great.
out.
No, no. So obviously another thing for the list for me. But yeah, how was that working on that show?
That was cool. That was pretty quick as well. That was because I had a couple of parts in that. Um, yeah, that one was also, I think, recorded remotely from home. Yeah, in my studio here. And yeah, they were super cool. It was really quick. They were very clear about what they wanted. And
Mhm.
we just did, a couple of takes of things, and that was that. But yeah, I love doing scripted podcasts because I love being able to act,
Well,
get
yeah,
the
it's
acting
almost it's
chops
almost
in.
like our modern version of radio shows, which I love that idea of having radio shows.
Mhm.
I've gotten involved in, well, not involved personally, but following certain scripted podcasts, and sometimes they don't always hit really well, but sometimes when they're hit, they're just so good. I love them.
Mhm.
So definitely, it's like I said, add to the list as well. But you also did one about a year ago called "The Key of Love," which is kind of cool. It's a 1940s podcast, scripted podcast where he played Moxie. Can you tell us a little
Yeah,
about that?
I loved that. That I love because I kind of, as an actor, I get cast a lot as like characters that are similar to me. I mean, not as, I don't know, sometimes I get cast as like charactery stuff, but I have like a lot of different characters in me. So Moxie was like, what, she was like New York, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Right? Yeah.
Bostonian.
Bostonian. Yeah, she kind of had a Boston accent. She was like totally like brash and like told you like it was. Like if you ever seen Grease, um,
Mm-hmm.
she's kind of like a Frenchie in a
Yeah,
way, but like a little more edgy character with a Boston
nice.
accent. And she was just so much fun to play. And I had a blast. And I did a couple other characters in that as well,
Mhm.
different voices and accents and stuff. And yeah, that was great. I had fun because that one I actually did get to be opposite the other actress. So we actually got to work off of each other, which was super helpful. And we had the
Oh yeah.
director there, and that was in a booth. That was in New York. And that one was really fun. I had fun with her for
I can
sure.
imagine not being able to see the person you're interacting with. Just for my show, I work with my friend Ed. We usually do this together, and before we had each other to look at, we missed all kinds of cues. So I can't imagine trying to record a scripted podcast without those visual cues. So
Yeah.
it's got to be tough. So the big
Definitely have to activate your imagination.
yeah. But so also let's go to live action though. I know you have something coming out soon, like January 31st, called Feud. We play Kate Paley, daughter of Babe Paley,
Yeah.
who's called the Queen of New York. Can you tell us a little about that, or is it too soon to say anything about it?
No, you're the first person who've asked me about it. This is so exciting.
Oh,
So,
nice.
um, this is one of the bigger things I've booked. This is it's a story about Truman Capote
Oh,
and
wow.
his drama with it's a Ryan Murphy project, and it's about his drama with Truman Capote's drama with all of these socialites, like New York socialites and LA socialites, these upper class women. And Naomi Watts is in it, and I play her daughter. So I've got I think it's one episode, and there's a little bit of a storyline there with us, which is nice. And I got to work with her, and I have like only good things to say about her. She's incredible as an actress. Her endurance is mind blowing, and she's so incredibly um giving and generous and supportive, and like she really wants whatever she's in, I mean, at least this project, to be good and to
Mhm.
work. And so she works hard to make it that way. And I was like so inspired working with her. She was amazing. And
Awesome.
the sets were incredible, and I'm excited for people to see it. Yeah.
Nice. And I know you're like pre-production for a project called Deepfake 2023.
Yeah, so that's the feature we just finished. I
Okay,
just
yeah,
finished that a week ago. So
nice. I,
yeah,
you the lead in that?
I am the lead in that.
Nice.
That I'm super excited about deepfake. Thank you for asking
Well, of
about it.
course. I want to be,
Yeah,
I
I'm really
want to make
excited
sure.
about deepfake.
Yeah, I want to talk everyone to know more about you as an actress rather than just Transformers. I think it's important to know that you have all these other gifts and abilities besides just voicing a character we all know.
Thank
So,
you.
of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a kind of like, as actors, we just kind of take what comes a lot of the time, and so it's you're lucky if it gets to be diverse like that.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Definitely.
Deepfake is really great. It's a dark comedy. It's a satire about social media,
Mhm.
and it's it's going to be really good. I'm excited.
Nice. Okay, cool. Well, can't wait to see something about that. And also, I want to like wrap up though today. I saw that you had worked with Nia Brantley with Thrive Artist Group, and
Mhm.
working with mental health in acting and entertainment. And I think it's important that we, like when I was growing up myself, I'm obviously probably a bit older than you are, and when I was growing up, you didn't talk about mental health. It was a taboo subject. So nowadays, people talking about it more freely and more openly is really a positive thing. And I think, people should be more aware and open to the fact that we all have things going on and we all need to deal with things we have. So can you tell me a little bit about that episode you recorded with her?
Yeah, that was a few years ago, and I think we just talked about being an artist and
Mhm.
how I take care of my own mental health in the process, because our profession can be very um that can be it is like hills and valleys like more than most careers.
Yeah.
So you really have to make sure that you take care of yourself and you have a really solid foundation and self-care and self-love and like knowing yourself and having a good support system.
Hmm.
So um yeah, she was offering a platform for artists to be able to come to for resources and things of that nature. I know a lot about holistic health and natural remedies and things, and so I do a lot of um, my own research and studying. I'm actually studying to be a functional medicine health coach as well, so that I have that information under my belt. And so I have a lot of tools that I utilize as an artist to keep myself um, in check. Like when I was doing this feature, everybody on set got sick except for me. I think everyone got sick. Yeah. Like went around the whole cast and crew, but I have this protocol that I know works for health and my immune system, and I was getting good sleep and I was making sure I was moving my body and like taking the right stuff. And so I mean, when your physical body is in good shape, your mental health, it really does, it's kind of a symbiotic relationship, at least that I find for myself. I mean, obviously not every case is like that, but
I totally
um
agree. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's like you got to work on the physical part, and then the main foundation is your own self-talk, how you feel about yourself, your
Mhm.
self-love, and the support system that you have around you. So like having those foundational elements are so key, especially with a career that is just so incredibly unpredictable.
Yeah.
Such highs and such lows. Really.
Well, I'm really glad I got to talk to you today. I'm sorry we had a little going back and forth and finding the right time, but I'm glad we finally got a chance to talk today for a short time. I want to
Absolutely.
ask you, is there anything you want to talk about, like something coming up you want to tell people about?
I think just deep fake. I've just auditioned for a couple of things I'm waiting to hear back on, so I can't promote those until
No, yeah,
I
no.
book them. But yeah, deep fake is going to be hopefully doing the festival circuit, and obviously when it comes out, I will be posting about it. But stay tuned.
Definitely.
Yeah, and my social media is at the Jess DIGI,
Mhm.
the Jess DIGI. So follow me, and I'll keep you up to date on what I'm doing.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being with me here today and talk with us. When I say us, well, whoever listens
Yeah,
with this,
the
and,
collective us,
the
of
collective
course.
us, the we, the royal we.
Yes, yeah.
So thank you so much. I appreciate everything. Have a
Thank you so
fantastic
much,
day.
Evan. It was so nice chatting with you, and
You as
thanks for
well.
asking me about all that stuff. It's so fun
Oh,
to talk about it.
yeah,
So,
definitely. Have a great day.
you too.
Bye bye.
Bye.